Joe Adam George is a national security analyst with Macdonald Laurier Institute, and he writes for the National Post, and he joins me now. And before you hear what he has to say, please donate, because when you hear what he has to say, you will know why this will not be heard on the CBC or the CTV or Global or anywhere else, because it's too sensitive, but it's important to Canada. So please make a donation, keep us on the air, especially in these tough times. So after that, thank you for joining me. You had a very, very well-read, popular article in the National Post talking about the infiltration of Canadian institutes of higher learning, our universities and our colleges, infiltration not only just by leftists, but by racialized radicals. Talk to us about it.
Sure. Since the October 7 attacks in Israel back in 2023, we have been seeing a number of anti-Western, anti-Semitic propaganda across Canada.
Oh, but yep. Demonstrations everywhere in the public, and people saying, as they said in Vancouver last week, death to all the Jews. Nothing happens.
Exactly. Very problematic views. But there was this one particular narrative that caught my attention, which I thought was very concerning in the context of national security and also for Canada's future. And this is a narrative that these radical Islamist groups like Hamas, Hezbollah, Taliban have been unjustly targeted and listed as designated terror groups by Western colonial systems and laws.
And how unfair is that?
Exactly.
So they say.
Yeah, and these are by the universities no less. And when I dug into it, I found that these studies are being funded and perpetuated by PhD students and even by academia from top universities like the Toronto Metropolitan University and the University of Toronto. And of course, there's no way who's funded. We don't know if this is public funds being involved, if there is foreign funding from rogue actors like Iran, Qatar, or the Muslim Brotherhood. So we don't know who's funding these studies.
But it's the institutions that are funding the studies, though, is it? Through the university?
No, absolutely. So
they're supporting it.
Oh, absolutely.
That's your point. Your contention.
Yeah, and.
So why is that happening in our democratic society where the government has labeled these groups as terrorist groups? Why do we have academics supporting studies to show that these groups should be out there protesting and trying to decolonize Canada?
So this is what we refer to as the progressive left and Islamist nexus. We commonly refer to as the red-green nexus as well. So you're seeing Islamists couched behind the language of academia, of academic freedom, social justice, human rights, the kind of language that the progressive left love to use when they want to target people or get people's attention. So you're seeing Islamists push their propaganda onto universities, and this is undermining Canadian security agencies' important work in keeping Canadians safe.
And our universities suck it up to the detriment of Canada.
Absolutely.
It's 3 minutes. Thank you very much for that important stuff. 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.